Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. I got another Master Duel video for you. So today I wanted to talk to you about a specific archetype, Red Dragon Archfiend, or Resonators, whatever you want to call them. And the reason that I actually bring this up is if we look at the notifications up here, recently there was a notification for secret pack updates, and here one of them is Savage Crimson Dragon, removing a few select cards that are related to the Red Dragon Archfiend archetype. Now, this might seem on the surface like a really minor reason to start talking about this archetype, but historically, especially the last 6 months to a year or so, a lot of these secret pack updates have actually coincided with archetypes getting updated and getting new cards. So this is a pretty good indication that we could possibly be seeing the Red Dragon Archfiend archetype get its follow-up support in the next selection pack. And that's also kind of supported by the general timeline, as far as TCG/OCG sets that are coinciding with Master Duel releases. We're somewhere in the middle of the Blazing Dominion pack, which of course has this Red Dragon Archfiend support in it. So using these clues, we can definitely make a guess as to the fact that it's going to come out soon. Now, if you're like me, one of the big things that you wonder whenever a deck gets follow-up support is just how much better does the deck become. So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about in this video today. I'm not going to be showing the full extent of the new support just yet. I do plan on making that a future video whenever it is announced that that is going to be coming out for sure, officially in-game. But what I can do is I can kind of compare the current Red Dragon Archfiend combo lines and builds to what it would look like when we get the follow-up support. So here I have a sample build for a Red Dragon Archfiend deck. I think if you were going to build it optimally for Master Duel right now, it would probably look something like this, right? We got the Synchron Resonator, the Crimson Resonator, a couple copies of Vision Resonator. A lot of it really is buildable off of the structure deck, except for a few URs, one of them being Earthbound Prisoner Stonesweeper, which can search level 3 or lower Fiend tuners. This is ultimately optional, but I think given where Red Dragon Archfiend is at right now in Master Duel, it does end up being a pretty important consistency tool. Oops, didn't mean to take that out, but we do have the help of Fidralis Harmonia, a relatively recent release there, and this deck can also make some pretty good use of the hand trap Dominus Impulse, which is quite strong. Because of course Impulse locks you into, fire and dark, which is basically the only attributes that you play. It's actually almost entirely dark. Were it not for Soul Resonator, your main starter being a fire monster, you could actually get away with Dominus Spark here as well. So this is what a current Red Dragon Archfiend build, I think, looks like at its probably most optimal competitively. There are tech choices you can make, and I'm far from an expert, but just based on my research and what I know about the deck, having played it at least a bit in the past, I'd probably make a build that looks something like this. But now, I'm going to also show you what a one-card combo line for Red Dragon Archfiend looks like right now in Master Duel. Okay, so for the one-card combo, the one card I'm going to use is Crimson Gaia. You do also have other starters, and other combos, but the other starters, like Soul Resonator and Bone Archfiend, are 1.5 card starters, and a lot of your other quality combos to this deck are actually 2-card combos. But for the sake of comparison between current support and new support, we're just going to use Crimson Gaia as our one card. So we begin by activating Crimson Gaia, and then we can use the effect on the field in order to add Soul Resonator. I know I've already got a couple of copies, but let's pretend these are something else. Now we can normal summon Soul Resonator, we'll activate the effect, and then we can add Bone Archfiend from our deck to our hand. We'll activate Bone Archfiend's effect, and we're going to send the Crimson Gaia that's on our field to the graveyard. Now we can activate the Bone Archfiend effect, and we can adjust the level of really either monster. As long as we lower it, it doesn't matter. So we can dump the Crimson Resonator, and then we'll decrease the level by 1. Now we're going to want to make the Red Rising Dragon using our 2 monsters on the field. And when Red Rising Dragon is synchro summoned, we can activate the effect, and we're going to revive the Crimson Resonator. Now from here we can activate Crimson Resonator's effect, and there's actually a couple of different ways that you could play this out. You could either choose to summon 2 copies of Vision Resonator, and then just synchro everything into Red Supernova Dragon. That would also let you search the red zone, which I already have in my hand here, but the red zone would then allow you to revive the Red Supernova Dragon. You could also optionally go for the Synchron Resonator instead, and that would allow you to do a couple of things. You could go into the Scarred Dragon Archfiend using Vision Resonator plus Red Rising Dragon. And then that would give you the search off the Vision Resonator. Now here we have to grab a Crimson Gaia, but if I didn't have Red Zone, you could search that as well. And then from there, you could make the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend using Synchron Resonator plus the Scarred Dragon Archfiend. Now we can chain block the Scarred Dragon Archfiend effect, and then we can also use Synchron Resonator, and could add back Vision Resonator if you really wanted to. I mean, there's no reason not to. It can still special summon itself, but there's not too much point in doing that. I mean, I guess if you really wanted to, you could special summon it and make Red Nova Dragon, but I definitely think it would be better to simply make the Bestial Dissipator. So this technically sets up 2 negates, possibly, but the thing is, the combo doesn't leave either you or your opponent with any banished cards, so it doesn't make the Dissipator effect live. If you were holding a Bestial monster in hand, I'd probably do it this way. However, if you weren't, it might be better to do the setup I talked about earlier, where you make Red Supernova Dragon, and combined with the Red Zone, you get 2 field-wide banishes. But either way, the 1-card combo for Crimson Gaia right now in Master Duel just gets you the 2 negates, potentially, or 2 field banishes, which is a little bit of interaction, but compared to what a lot of meta decks are getting off 1 card right now, is not a lot. So let's see what the new updated combo line looks like once Red Dragon Archfiend gets its new support. Alright, switching over to Edo Pro, because of course the new Red Dragon Archfiend cards are not in Master Duel. I'll be using this program to show you what the 1-card Crimson Gaia combo line looks like after the new support comes out. We're going to begin by activating the Crimson Gaia, and a lot of these early steps are going to actually be the same. We'll grab Soul Resonator, use that to get Bone Archfiend. Bone Archfiend is going to send Crimson Gaia. We'll dump the Crimson Resonator to lower the level. We'll make Red Rising. Red Rising is going to revive Crimson Resonator. And then here we are actually going to summon out one of the newer support cards, Darkness Resonator, alongside the Vision Resonator. Now from here we use Darkness Resonator effect, which gives us an extra normal summon for a Resonator later. After that we're going to Synchro Summon for level 8 for a new Synchro support card, the Crimson King. Now this on summon lets us add any card that mentions Red Dragon Archfiend, and of course because we use Vision Resonator we can search off that as well. So, here are the 2 search targets. The Vision Resonator grabs Crimson Call, a new spell card that's support for the archetype, and then off the Crimson King we're grabbing the new Power Vice Dragon. However, we're going to use the Crimson Call first, grabbing Chain Resonator. Now, Chain Resonator is a card that is currently out already in Master Duel. We're going to use our extra normal summon on the Chain Resonator, and because we normal summoned it while we control a Synchro monster, we can now special summon the Synchron Resonator from the deck. Now we're going to use the Darkness Resonator effect. We can change both its level and the Crimson Resonator's level to 1. So we're going to have 4 level 1 tuners and a level 8 Synchro monster. And once we send all of them away, we can Synchro Summon the new boss monster, Red Hypernova Dragon. As you can see, it requires 4 tuners. However, it's got a very powerful effect that not only banishes all cards on the opponent's field, but every card in their graveyard instead. And then you get to pull Red Nova Dragon out of the extra deck too. But we're far from done here. We're going to use Synchron and Vision Resonator effect, or rather Synchron effect to add back Vision Resonator, and then we can special summon Power Vice Dragon. Power Vice Dragon's effect will allow us to search for a Resonator monster, and we're going to grab a second copy of Synchron Resonator. We do actually need to play 2 for this particular combo line. Now we can special summon Synchron Resonator, and we're going to Synchro Summon into a second Red Rising Dragon, because fun fact, Red Rising Dragon is not once per turn. Neither is Synchron Resonator effect to add from the graveyard back to the hand, which is part of the reason why it's fine to play 2. Now Red Rising and Synchron Resonator both activate. We're going to add back Darkness Resonator and summon back Synchron Resonator, and now we can make Crimson Blade Dragon. Crimson Blade Dragon can search for any level 8 or higher monster that cannot be normal summoned or set. And on top of that, we once again get the effect of Synchron Resonator. We can add back Chain Resonator, and then we're going to search for the Bestial Lubellion. But fun fact, there are many search targets for this, including Mitsurugi Habakiri. All roads lead to Habakiri, but for here we're going to grab Bestial Lubellion. We're going to activate it, dumping to go for Bestial Magnum Hut. Now we're going to use Bestial Magnum Hut to banish specifically Crimson Resonator. You're going to see why in a second. It's really important we banish this level 2 tuner specifically. Now we summon Magnum Hut. Magnum Hut gets a search during the end phase. We're going to swap it out for Lubellion. Lubellion places Branded Regained. Now we can special summon Vision Resonator and then synchro it with Lubellion for Bestial Dissipator. Dissipator is going to revive the Crimson Resonator, which tunes into the Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, the level 9. And then during the end phase, Magnum Hut adds Phydralis Harmonia. So yeah, as you can see, the turn 1 end board looks so much better when it's the Crimson Gaia 1-card combo after the new support. Before you kind of had to pick if you wanted to banish everything or if you wanted to have 2 negates, well, now you don't. Now you get both options. The Red Hypernova, again, will not only banish the opponent's entire field, but also their entire graveyard as well. And don't forget, this combo line also searched Phydralis Harmonia. If you wanted to, though, you could also search another bestial monster like Baldrake, and that would guarantee that you have something in Banish for Dissipator. Not only that, but Baldrake itself also has a disruption effect to banish monsters summoned from the extra deck. So that is a way to potentially improve the end board there. But now that I've shown you the combo line, let me show you what my hypothetical deck list for a build like this would look like. And here it is. This is my Red Dragon Archfiend deck with the newer support cards added in. A lot of it is the same. One of the main things that's notably different from what a current Master Duel build would look like is the lack of Earthbound Prisoner Stone Sweeper. We get to add Power Vice Dragon as another starter, so I don't think you need Stone Sweeper moving forward, but it is also still a pretty decent option. You could play it instead of Resonator Call if you wanted to, but of course Resonator Call is a cheaper substitute. You could play like 3 Resonator Call and then add some Stone Sweepers, though, if you wanted some more support. I should also note that there are definitely multiple ways to play out that turn 1 combo line. So, like, the line I showed you in particular does need a second Synchron Resonator in the main deck, which is a little bit of a garnet. At the same time, it's not that big of a deal because, as mentioned, the Synchron Resonator effect to keep adding Resonator monsters back from the graveyard to the hand, that is not once per turn. Special summoning it is once per turn off its own effect. However, adding monsters back, you can do that as long as you keep using it as synchro material. And even if you've already special summoned it from hand off its own effect, you can still revive it off of things like Red Rising Dragon, which is, again, also not once per turn, by the way. So there's definitely a lot of potential here, but like I've seen combo lines that don't make use of Chain Resonator or second Synchron Resonator, but of the ones that I saw in my research, this is the one I like the most. And actually, the combo line I showed you here even gets a buff with later support, because that combo line adds back Darkness Resonator from graveyard to hand, which can still special summon itself from the hand, and then you can synchro summon using Darkness Resonator level 3 plus the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss level 9 to make the Crimson Dragon Quetzalcoatl, which will revive all synchro monsters from your graveyard, the Dark Dragon ones, including the Archfiend Abyss you just used as material. It adds another monster negate to your end board, and because its attack points are equal to the total attack of dragon synchro monsters on your field, I'm pretty sure its attack points end up somewhere in the neighborhood of like 16,000. So it is a very powerful addition to the end board once this comes out. And again, you can use the exact same combo line I showed you, and literally all you have to do is at the very end where I left off, just special summon Darkness Resonator, tune it with Archfiend Abyss, make this guy, and then revive a bunch of Dark Dragon synchros from your graveyard. Another potential update for the deck is going to be the new Red Nova Dragon Burning Soul. I don't imagine these will both come out. I mean, this one might, maybe, but I don't imagine that the Crimson Dragon will come out in the same pack as the same Red Dragon Archfiend cards, but Red Dragon or Red Nova Dragon Burning Soul is another option that you could potentially go into as well. I don't think it's quite as strong as something like the Quetzalcoatl, but it is there too. So yeah, that is pretty much the difference between current Red Dragon Archfiend and Red Dragon Archfiend with the new support. So how much stronger is that? While the combo line and end board are definitely more powerful, I think that Red Dragon Archfiend as a competitive archetype will probably ultimately still be in the neighborhood of Rogue. I think it will definitely be a lot more powerful, but this is going to be one of those waves of support that doesn't shoot an archetype right up into like tier 1 status necessarily, but helps it keep up with the rest of the meta. Because, you know, when Red Dragon Archfiend very first got the follow-up support like Soul Resonator and Crimson Gaia, you know, ending on the Supernova Dragon double banish was, you know, it was better. It was decent, right? But now it's a very lackluster end board to just end on Supernova Dragon plus Red Zone and nothing else. However, as you can see again here with the new support, you can end on a board banish and multiple negates and searching for Dralis Harmonia, and you also have the advantage that you're gaining with the what do you call it, Branded Regained as well. Yeah, there's a lot of different things that a lot of different ways that you could build out Red Dragon Archfiend. Like, you could continue to play Supernova Dragon instead of just the Red Hypernova Dragon if you were so inclined to do so. But I really like the line that I found here, and again, it is very future-proof in terms of once new support comes out, it's very easy to adapt it to the current line. But I think that's pretty much all I got for you for now. So if you want to see more videos like this in the future, let me know. Just kind of comparing like where decks are at now versus how they're going to be when the new support comes out. And again, when it comes to Red Dragon Archfiend in particular, whenever it's officially announced that the cards are coming out, I am definitely down to, you know, do a full review of all the new cards, show you multiple combo lines, so on and so forth. So that'll do it for now. Before we sign off though, let's move on to our outro so we can thank our YouTube members and Patreon subscribers. Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Thank you so very much for watching all the way to the very end of the video, which by the way is one of the best ways to support the channel. Speaking of supporting the channel, take a look at the names on screen. These are folks who have been so generous as to either join as a YouTube member or subscribe over on patreon.com/Hexlex to support. There's also perks for doing so. If you would like to see YouTube videos early, as well as some exclusive videos that get uploaded to YouTube, but for one reason or another I decide not to publish, definitely go ahead and hit that join button to see content early, as well as some exclusive content. If you're looking for more exclusive content, over on patreon.com, I upload exclusive videos that are not posted on YouTube just about every single day. Whether you choose to subscribe over on Patreon, join as a YouTube member, or simply continue to watch, your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so very much. But for now, this is Hexlex. I am signing out, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.